Hi guys, it's Paul here, and first of all, Happy New Year to you all. Yes, it's the first video of this year, and well, we wanted to tell you a bit more about the export process. We want to give you some details on how exactly the process looks like in the case of shipping a car on a Roro ship. Well, to start from the really basics, Roro means roll on, roll off, and it's just that. So the cars are driven onto the ship, and then once they arrive at the destination, they're driven off the ship into the port. Simple. And well, there are a couple of steps we need to take before we're able to export the car, which look something like this. So the first most obvious part, we have to get a booking for the ship. And well, most of the available space on Roro boats is taken up by new cars. So for example, cars that are manufactured in Japan and then sold over in the US, which leaves a little less space available for used cars. Another thing is that a lot of the ship schedules are not available in advance. So we only know the schedules for example, 2 weeks ahead, which is not that much if you think about exporting something. So what we do is we ask our freight forwarder to get us a booking, and then they start looking for available space. But again, in a lot of cases, it looks something like this. They're looking for some space, there's no space available, it takes them a couple of weeks at most, and then one day they contact us, they found some available space, but we have to take the car to the port by Thursday next week, or something like that, which really is rather sudden. But since we want to export the car as fast as possible, we have to go with it. We ask them to confirm the booking, and then we go on. So the next step is we need to get an export certificate. And export certificates are based on a document called the shaken, which is, well, this proof the car underwent a technical inspection. You have to take every 2 years in Japan if the car is used. And but it also serves as a kind of a title. So we go to the Japanese version of the DMV, we get the shaken, the title, changed into an export certificate, which says that the car will be exported within 90 days and will no longer be in Japan. And this export certificate is very important because it will serve as well as a replacement for a title when you try to register the car in the US. So it's very important. But the process itself is not really all that hard. Just with the tight schedule, we need to make sure we get the certificate as soon as possible. And once we have the certificate, another step that only applies to Roro shipments is we need to inspect the cars for radiation. It might sound a bit weird, but all since the disastrous earthquake back in 2011, when the Fukushima nuclear power plant was damaged, all products exported from Japan had to be tested for radiation. It makes sense. But after more than 10 years, almost none of other export products have to be checked. But in case of cars, they might need to be, again, inspected for radiation. But it depends on the port. So not every port requires that anymore. But the truth is that the port of Yokohama, which is the main, and by main I mean like the main port in Japan, and also the mainest hub for Roro shipments, does require that all cars are checked for radiation in order to protect the port staff. So what we need to do is we need to contact an organization that handles these inspections. They send over someone to us, and then we have the car inspected, which usually takes around 25 to 30 minutes. It's nothing all that complicated. The areas they check on the cars are as follows.
So the actual radiation inspection process looks something like this. The inspector has a rod, not unlike this one, connected to a box, which is the actual meter. So first they check the radiation levels of the surroundings in order to check the levels on the car against them later on. It's not that the cars themselves are radioactive, it's more about sand and dust, which can travel for long distances, and it can contain some radioactive particles, technically. Because, well, honestly, we had a lot of our cars tested and there's no problems with them at all. So, being as it is, the areas of most interest are those that tend to get a lot of dust. So first of all, they check around the wheel housings here, around the wheels, then also around the bumpers, so in the front. Yeah, there we go. In the back, around the side skirts, like this. And then again, wheel housing. And then rear bumper here. Yeah, need to measure it good. And also another point of interest are the wipers, because they tend to collect lots of dust when working. So they also check against the wipers. And yeah, that will be it. So they go around the car, check the radiation levels, make notes of them, and once that's done, they go home and prepare a report for us. That's what the process looks like.
So once the inspection is complete, they send us over some certificates, and then we can bring the cars into the port, which we do by ourselves. Yes, so we just use our trucks, put the car on the truck, and we take them to the port directly. At this point, I would like to ask for your understanding, because I know a lot of you who bought cars from us are very excited and you are waiting, and the cars just can't arrive soon enough, right? But since we are located rather far away from all of the main ports, it's quite of a hassle for us to bring the car to the port, which is why we try to take as many cars at once as we can. So 2 cars, 3 cars, 4. We just want to take them all together to the port, unload them, and have them sent over together, which really is a big help for us, because it would be just too big of a workload to move each and every car by itself to the port and then have them shipped separately. So again, sorry for the delays, but we hope for your understanding. Well, and once the cars are at the port, there's not really all much left to do. So Japanese customs check our paperwork, check if the papers match the cars and so on, and if everything looks good, they give us the export permission. Once that's done, the car just waits until the boat's out, and it's out, yeah. However, there are a couple of things you need to be extra careful about when shipping a car on a Roro boat. And the first of them would be this. This is an emergency flare, and emergency flares are in general big no-nos on Roros. Yeah, Well, for obvious reasons, it burns, it can cause a fire, and that's, again, a big no on a ship with a lot of cars on it. So, yeah, and the next thing is we need to make sure there's only a little gasoline left in the tank. Yeah, anything more than 1/4 of the tank is a no, again, for safety reasons to prevent a fire. And then finally, another thing is, and it is a problem with a lot of our cars, and I think you have noticed it, that some of them are really, really low. Yeah. But on a Roro ship, you need to make sure that the vehicle's clearance is at least 15 centimeters. Yeah, because there's a really steep angle when going onto the ship, off the ship, and so on. The cars need to be at least 15 centimeters high. So a lot of our cars aren't. In those cases, we just adjust the coilovers, adjust the suspension to make it as high as possible. And yeah, that would be it. So it's not really that complicated a process. It's just that there's always a rush connected with the, having to take the car to the port by the end of next week or whatnot. But I guess all of our cars until now made it over safely. So that's just it. And yeah, we'll take good care of your car too. So be assured that it will arrive in the US safely. Yeah, okay, that will be it. So thanks for watching as always. Thanks for all of your inquiries. Thanks for buying our cars, obviously. And yeah, this will be it. So thanks again. Goodbye.